Thank you for joining me in the last class session of Jury Duty 101. Have you ever thought about if you are a good listener? Does your job require a lot of listening? Self-awareness is so good for us to do no matter what age we are. Really being aware of our strengths and our weaknesses, and to make those weaknesses a strength. And when we're serving on jury duty, we have to be very good listeners. We are listening all throughout the day, and we don't want to miss anything. And so in today's video, I want to share with you, I want you to do a survey to see if you're a good listener or not. And then I'm going to share with you 4 tips that you can implement starting today in making listening a strength, if it's not a strength already. Now, the tips, the survey questions and the tips are coming from a book called Cornerstones by Sherfield and Moody. And I'm going to put the 5 questions up here. Feel free to pause this video at any time. The first question, and you answer yes or no to these questions. I often interrupt the speaker so that I can say what I want. Question number 2. I am thinking of my next statement while others are talking. Number 3. My mind wanders when others talk. Number 4. I answer my own questions. And number 5, I answer questions that are asked of other people. And so feel free to pause this video. You're going to answer yes or no to all 5 of those questions. Now, if you answered yes to 2 or more of those questions, then listening is a weakness. And so you can make listening a strength by starting on implementing these 4 tips starting today. So if you answered yes to 2 or more of those questions, then you tend to be a talker more than a listener. Okay, so what are the 4 tips that you can start implementing today to become a better listener? Number 1. Avoid interrupting the speaker. Force yourself to be silent at parties, family gatherings, and friendly get-togethers. You should not be unsociable, but force yourself to be silent for 10 minutes. You'll be surprised at what you hear. You may also be surprised at how hard it is to do this. Test yourself. Okay? So that's a tip that you can start implementing. Avoid interrupting the speaker. Tip number 2. Ask someone a question and then allow that person to answer the question. So really allowing for those silent times. They may be kind of not very comfortable, those silent periods, but getting used to having those silent periods, those pauses, and allowing the person to answer. Tip number 3. Too often we ask questions and answer them ourselves. Force yourself to wait until the person has formulated a response. If you ask questions and wait for answers, you will force yourself to listen. And tip number 4, concentrate on what is being said at the moment, not what you want to say next. Okay, so that 4th one, it really deals with like keeping your mind on task, right, at what's being said to you. And that's where we really have to battle with jury duty, right? Listening is a lot of work. I don't know if you've ever judged speech competitions before or any kind of activity in which you're listening all day long. It is exhausting. It is tiring. And it's a lot of work. Active listening is a lot of work. And so jury duty is one of those things. And, it's easy for our mind to wonder when, both sides are presenting their case. There's so much coming at us, and, it's very easy for our mind to wonder. We could be wondering about what's going on at home or anything, any kind of distractions can keep us from listening to the court case. And so, when we talked about session number 1 with empathy, everything that we're doing in jury duty, we're doing it with a backdrop of empathy. Empathetic ears, right? If we're empathetic to what's going on, then we're going to be very focused. We're going to give this case our best attention at hand. So those are tips that you can start implementing now. And I hope that you have found Jury Duty 101 to be very informative, to give you a different lens into how to value our civic responsibility as one that is very important, that is weighty, and it matters. Thank you for joining these class sessions.